Thank you. The whole world is transfixed by the humanitarian disaster in Ukraine, but 500,000 people have died in northern Ethiopia. As you note in your testimony, the majority of those facing famine-like conditions in northern Ethiopia, and 90% of Tigray's population needs humanitarian assistance. Right now, maybe 3 to 5% of the amount of food that's needed is being allowed in. And this is not because humanitarian organizations don't have the food and the capacity. It's because the Ethiopian government lets only a few percent in, and the Eritrean government lets nothing in. Back in December, the Assistant Secretary for African Affairs, Molly Fee, testified before our committee that the State Department had decided to refrain at the current moment from making a public determination on atrocities, human rights, but most significantly, whether this is a genocide or an attempted genocide. Just last month, Secretary Blinken was sitting where you are now, and he testified that a legal determination will in fact be made on those issues by the State Department. It may not be your exact portfolio, but there's very few people in America who have your background. In your testimony, you say that addressing these atrocities in Ethiopia is a major top priority. If you have a government, or in this case two governments, deliberately starving hundreds of thousands of civilians to death, does that constitute a genocide or attempted genocide?
Thank you, Congressman. Obviously, in my past life, this is a question, questions of what constitutes a genocide or how courts have adjudicated that over time is something I've studied a lot. But as you noted, it is not something as USAID administrator that I'm involved in terms of making that determination, and you have raised it with Secretary Blinken. I believe he's given you the assurance that that determination will come. I don't think the question of again, whether one is using whether that legal determination is made is influencing in any way the U.S. government's posture toward the Ethiopian government. In other words, we are acting in just the same way we would be irrespective of
I would
what
point
that
out that in
determination
this room, I've suggested ways to pressure the Ethiopian and especially on particularly the Eritrean government, which has, of course, the ports that could be used, particularly by interrupting sea traffic going, even hundreds of miles away from Eritrea. So I think a determination of genocide would spur our administration to do more than simply send harsh letters to Addis Ababa and Asmara. You visited the refugee camp in Sudan, where Tigrayan refugees are also hungry. Are we going to increase our aid to those refugees?
Well, we are, as part of the broader package of assistance that we hope is going to be voted on by the Senate, we are able now to have additional humanitarian assistance to meet global needs that are profound. And just to come back to where you started, you do have 1 million people facing famine in Ethiopia by the end of June. I mean, we're past mid-May. This is upon us, and that includes 700,000 people in Tigray. So, I think the pressure by the United States has been a belated but an important factor in why the number of trucks that have gotten into Tigray in recent days has increased. We got 320 trucks in this past week. But Congressman, as you know better than anybody, we need 500 trucks a week if we are going to meet those needs.
And I would say that Congress should provide the money, but only the administration can provide the pressure, and only the administration can use the U.S. Navy to put additional pressure on the two countries involved. And without that pressure, you got a certain number of trucks in with oral pressure. We can do more. I yield back.
Thank you.